a lot of imagination involved, a lot of understanding the character and the script, and why you're saying hi to somebody. Is it hi because you just walked in and hi, how you doing? Or is it hi because you're about to deliver bad news? Hi. It's the same word. It's got to be delivered in context, or else when they mix it, when the directors mix it, it's not going to sound right. And the key to voice acting is the second part, the acting part. So if you're interested in voice acting, do some acting. Improv, acting, they'll all give you the tools that you need to do voice acting, because it's harder without all the rest of it. It's impossible if you haven't done any acting at all, and you just sit down at a mic and go, well, I've heard people act. And it's like, well, I've watched TV shows, but I probably couldn't produce one. So improv training is great because it allows you to imagine what the other person might say. And since we're doing, on these shows, we do like 2 or 3 takes for every line. You can do 2 or 3 completely different takes, and then when the director gets it, they listen to yours and they listen to the other person's, and they go, oh, well, these go better together than, the first one from here and the third one from here move better together. Because without having the person in the room, it's really hard to mesh it together. And in voice acting in general, in the industry, it's very rare to have everybody in a room. I think I've only done 2 productions where people were actually in the room together talking and delivering the lines at the same time. The norm is you're sitting there in front of your mic and it's your room, basically. So, if you can't imagine your bookshelf turning into, Darth Vader or whoever you're supposed to be talking to, that's all in your head.
Yeah, pretty much everything he said. You covered like everything. The 3 in the row thing, when you're recording audio drama, especially when you're recording at home, it's like you're going to be doing it all the time, and it's the best thing you can possibly do, because you don't have a director like when you're working on a video game or a cartoon. You usually have a director that's going, I really like that, but can we try that but with a little more intensity? Or, oh, you know what, you're actually supposed to be yelling bloody murder there. You have a director. Here, you have the script, so you have some context, especially Pendant, you get the full script, you don't just get your lines, which is good. But the 3 in the row is your way of giving options. And if you do 3 of the same line, like if you think you're doing 3 in a row and you're like, oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, that's really nice. That's really annoying as a director to get that, because you're like, oh, that's really nice.
The same line. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So go back and listen to everything you record, and you should be able to hear when something's different or not. And it's really freeing. I love doing 3 in a row. When I'm actually at a session and I get to do 3 in a row, I'm like, yeah, because you can do one that you're sort of doing what they want, and then you can do 2, whatever you want, and it's so much fun. So 3 in a row is going to be your best friend if you're recording from home or doing audio drama, anything really. So there we go.
I know in a lot of these shows also there's single voice actors that do multiple roles. So part of having the voice for a particular role is having that character so embedded in you that you can deliver the same performance from episode to episode. Because you don't want Bruce Wayne to sound like this in one episode and sound like this in another. Because you're going to lose the audience somewhere. And there are even times when you might have multiple characters in a single episode, and keeping each of those voices distinct and separate, whether it's tone or accent or attitude, or sometimes it may be the exact same voice with a different attitude, and that's enough to cue the audience in, oh, it's him, not him. Or, if you're doing Two-Face, or maybe it is the same voice, it's really the same guy, but it's his attitude that flips from one to the other. So, and that's just another piece that fits into the puzzle.
Yeah, we've had some scenes in our production that are all filled by one actor. And that was not intentional, but it was just that, like, the same actor would get cast in 2 or 3 different parts, and somewhere down the line it ended up that all of his characters had scenes together. And, but as long as you vary it up enough, you can totally pull it off, and it's kind of impressive when it happens.